Thank you.
My name is Alicia, and
Hi.
my colleague Madalina will be taking your interview today. I have a question. I saw in your presentation that you were talking about female
Yeah,
voices and
yeah,
neutral voices for robots. Could you
yeah.
tell me more about that, please?
Okay. So interestingly, I think because of the structure, like the social structure that differentiate between the response from the Romanian respondents in comparison with the Spanish and particularly the Spanish respondent. So majority of the Spanish respondent that we take the data, they at least more than 40% of them says that they prefer the voice to be female because it has sort of like tranquilizer effect and make the user calmer, even though some of them also mention that it is neutral. But as I observed, none of the respondents mentioned that the voice should be male, particularly. So there's a sort of like a balance between the female voice or neutral voice.
Okay, you were the sociological study lead, if I'm saying that correctly.
I'm not the lead. So we're working together, me and my professor in UCAM. So we're working together. I think both of us, we have pretty much comparable role. Yeah.
Could you tell me how do these workshops help us in life, not just in this project? Could you tell me more about the project?
Well, unfortunately, I come into the project once the workshop has been done. So I participate in the project when the data has been collected. So basically around last year, as I understood from the team, that the workshop of development, the robot development, was conducted in May 2021. So I get into the project around September 2021. So if I may explain what I can see, maybe the result of the workshop itself, not the actual workshop, because I'm dealing more with the data and what um, all the results and all the interviews that coming and then the reports. So basically that unfortunately I am not able to answer you in terms of that particular workshops.
Could you tell me how do children perceive the robots? Do they find them as friendly, or maybe if they look more toy-like?
Okay, so what I found interestingly, it's quite variety of the response from the children. So mostly the children cite that they want the robot as a friend. But while we dig deeper, the understanding of friend is pretty much different. In the Romanian response, which that we break up the data and interpret what do they mean by friend, in comparison to the Spanish respondent, because we don't have too much information on the Italian respondent. So we have the comparison between these two contexts. So in Romanian respondent, Romanian children perceive the robot as friends, mean you can help me doing my homework. You can accompany me while I'm alone, something like that. But on the contrary, the Spanish respondent is more reciprocal kind of relationship. So if I'm sad, you'll be here with me. If I'm sad or if I'm happy, I'm going to tell you whatever make me happy. So this kind of comparison of friendship trigger more questions for me. It's very interesting. And also other response came into a little bit exaggerate, I see, because maybe they imagine a little bit further that the robot will destroy human being, and it gave the impression of a little bit scary feelings for them. But majority, the children see robot as a friend. Some, even though minority, mentioned that the robot can be a replacement as a missing family member. Some that desire have a sister or brother, they want to treat the robot as that, or a pet.
How do you think the interaction with the robot is gonna affect the personality of the kid?
Well, honestly, I'm not a psychologist, but I think because the kid use the gadgets too much, maybe they're going to break sort of like a distance with the real friend, between the imaginary friend that actually they can relate to, they can control basically. So I think that will be the scariest part from my point of view. Because for example, if you have a human contact, so you have the social surroundings that helps you to develop, so you know other circle, you know other circumstances. But with a robot, you know that this is programmable, so you can program, you can give a command. So if I don't like the robot to do things, I switch it off. So this is just my interpretation of the relationship that might occur, I don't know, in the future or in the near future, with the relationship between a human and the robot, especially the children.
Based on the workshops, what was the desired robot feature? What do the audience want a robot to be able to do and not to do?
Okay, so the robot, mainly the desirable feature, of course, the one that have pleasant personality. So this, because we have more detailed questions to the adult respondent in comparison to the children respondent. But most of the children respondent, they want the robot to have, quote unquote, a lot of positive personality, happy, friendly, kind, always supportive, that kind of features. And in terms of format, the children have very variety. So from animal-like to random abstract like a cloud, or a pig that can fly, something like that. But for the adult, they have more concrete imagination. The robots for the adult, they don't want to be like exactly like human, because it can be very scary. My assumption, maybe they see these kind of things from the movie and have their relationship with, for example, Japanese kind of robot that is very like human, and that's they don't like. But they want something that the anthropomorph features, have a head, have a neck, have arms and legs, those kind of things. What they do not want to see, it's a robot that resemble furnitures, or as things, or as objects that is not gadget, like for example plant. So nobody wants that the robot to be closely like a plant, that. And
Why don't
sorry.
people robots to look like furniture or plants? Is there any study based on that, or is just a preference?
No, no. There is no, we don't have enough data to actually probe more.
Okay, thank you. Madalena, do you have any further questions?
Well, I have a wonder, like if there are gonna be another kind of this project, will you want to be in?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I'm so excited because it is, inevitable, because our population is a majority now dominated by the Gen Z below, and their relationship with gadgets and relation with globalizations and migrations and movement between people, for me it's very, very interesting. Specifically, my personal interest with the relations of women and gender role in how they play in the society. For me, this kind of project is very interesting because it highlights different aspects of humans, not only the robot. So what I can take from this project, how it's not how we understand the robot, it's how we understand human through robots, and how it's the relationship might change, might occur. We don't know whether it will be positive or negative, but at least we can see the pattern. We can predict what kind of relationship that will occur in the future in the relationship with this kind of new virtual being.
Based on your own interest or your own knowledge, how can studies
Yeah.
like this can help in any other way, not just this project specifically, but any
Yeah.
other?
Well, I think it's very it's inevitable, right? Because of course, with the pandemic, it's one thing. So people are forced to be in their safe space in the house, even though in for some context, house is not a safe place, right? But in the future, if we're talking about the area of health, the area of not only investigations and research, but also the imaginations of how we can see the uh, like the social reality in the future. What I'm concerned now is actually the idea of capitalism can be wilder. It can be scarier because you can trade something that is abstract. You might know about this metaverse right now. I believe that you heard about the metaverse. And then, for example, if we don't have, we cannot trade our land here in the real world. We can make a commodity of things that we cannot touch. So I think this is very important how we understand the relationship between humans and how to actually improve. I don't know, maybe it's improve or actually predict and see, because as a human being, we progress and we move along. And in relations to this project, for example, what made me particularly interested because of the world is now connected, and the displacement of people. We see the war now in Ukraine, and then what this kind of project can influence the relationship between the refugee, the displaced people, and their land, their roots, their culture, and also the relationship also with the capital, with the social political in general, like very wide.
Okay, again, based on your own point of view, on your own knowledge, because you said you're not a psychiatrist before, why do the children in Romania see the robots differently than the ones in Spain?
I think because of the social structure, I'm not very familiar with the Romanian society. I have to admit that it is another interesting journey for me because I learn new society. I'm not very familiar with Romanian society, but when I read into the literature and also try to understand a little bit the context of the social structure in Romanian society, I think Romanian society has a not as strong as Spain, has a distinctive gender role, men to do this, women to do this. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that you don't have, in Romania, the society maybe doesn't have really rigid social segregation between gender roles. So for example, what we found in Italy, for example, from the results of this children workshop, that for them, it's very weird that a robot wake them up in the morning. Why? Because for them, it's a job of a mother. Why mother? Why not parents? Why father? So this kind of things is a very gender segregation within the society. I don't see this respond too much in Romanian society because it reflects on the response that they want this robot to be neutral. I don't care whether it's a female voice or a male voice, it's a robot that will help me. But for the society that have rigid gender role that's segregated between men and women, they want maybe female voice first to as a tranquilizer effect because it's a job of a mother, it's a job of a woman member of the family to make you tranquilizer effect, or a job that domesticated project, domesticated tasks like waking up the children, helping the children doing these chores. That's mainly in Spanish society, it's a job of a mother.
Okay,
This-
thank you very much, Vinny. I don't have any further questions. If my colleague Madalina wants
Okay.
questions, she's all yours.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. See you. Bye.
Bye.